Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis. We are obviously live on location at the Black Store Inc. I'm excited about this episode. Today we get to visit with two of the owners of the Black Store and just get the experience, like they say. But first of all, I want to say thank you to all my show sponsors. I appreciate you guys believing in the show, like I say, from week to week. So I definitely want to acknowledge all of the show sponsors at this point in time. Number one being Dad Chronicles, myself. This is the voice of Dad Chronicles and the community. And so I appreciate my team for sticking with me. And then also the Joseph Consulting Firm, Miss Candace Joseph, and your team, which you just told me last night has grown beyond your own understanding. So salute to all you guys over there at the Joseph Consulting Firm. I appreciate everything that you guys do for the Reach Podcast Show. And also a new sponsor to the show is my girl, Miss Kevia Jones of the Executive Suite. I appreciate you and all that you do for the Reach Podcast Show. Go and check her out at www.theexecutivesuite.com and get all of the CBD products. And amazingly, she's in y'all store right now. She on the shelves. So salute to that. If y'all want to get your CBD products from the Executive Suite, come over here to the Black Store and you can find her products on the shelves right here. And nobody less than my awesome team and everybody over at the World Youth Foundation. We can't do this without you guys. That's all I can say, and shout out, of course, to Miss Karen, the head of the organization. Again, this year has been our 30th year with the World Youth Foundation. So I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you do, not only for myself, but everybody else that y'all guys come around and get involved with. And it's nothing like membership is what she always says. And when I tell you that is the utmost truth, that is definitely the case. But getting into what we came here for today is the Black Store. Black Store, I'm going to put up their information right quick. And let me just tell you guys, today is going to be a little bit different than all the other shows. And I just want to put the information up on the screen. You can find them on Facebook and find them on IG. And with me right now, I have one of the owners of the store. And then we'll also be joined by the other owner. And since I got you sitting right here, let me tell you something. This is my man, Lloyd Ford II. When I tell you this book kept me up, I'm almost done, man, and I just started yesterday. This is an amazing, amazing read. It is called Revealing the White Lie, Faith versus Fact. And when I say you dug in, man, you dug in, and it got me wanting to do my own research. But we'll talk more on that, man. I got to give it its due diligence. But I'd like to introduce first one of the owners of the Black Store, Mr. Lloyd C. Ford II, and just say hello to the people, man, and just let them know. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then into the shot right now, you can shout out from right there, man. It's my man who's always doing what they seen you doing your thing. That's what he's always doing. But today is about you, man. So I want you to be present today about y'all and about your store. And from the moment I met y'all, man, I fell in love with what you're doing because it just lines up with what needs to be going on, let alone the things I'm striving to do and just all the things that I can imagine that we're going to do moving forward. But, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people as well, man. My man, Randy. Absolutely. That's what's up. So I like to, and like I said, so for our viewers, if people get to walking in the store, the Black Store, as you see it online, is a beauty supply experience. So, and you'll speak on that a little bit, how you told me y'all guys want to franchise out and have the same atmosphere from store to store. So if they have to get up and move around, don't worry, we're going to keep the show going. But I'd like for you to jump into that right now, whoever wants to go. What is the Black Store? What made this happen, and why did y'all choose a beauty supply and all the things that y'all doing?
When we start off create
Mm-hmm.
so that's always first and foremost in our mind, community. And when we think about starting businesses, Black beauty supply industry most heavily exploited industries in the Black community.
Yeah.
So it's in my mind, let this be one of the first things that we can take over and show our people how we really can do it and supply and help the community at the same time. We don't need to be millionaires before we go do this to help the community.
Absolutely.
We're doing it simultaneously and it goes hand
Absolutely, absolutely. What's your take on it, Randy?
Yeah, man, it's probably one of the last industries I thought I would be involved in. The reason why it captivated me, I had this nonprofit called Young Black Women.
Mhm.
And I didn't want this organization where we just
Excuse me 1 second. I got my boy chiming in, and Nick, I appreciate the comment. He's saying he can hear me well. Maybe y'all have to project a little bit more because it's going through this mic over here. Y'all just speak up just a little bit for me because I don't want nobody to miss this. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It only compared to not just excite women and get them all motivated. You know, we got motivation Monday, we got all of these motivational pieces out here, but there's not step-by-step guides to show people
Right.
how you can break into the biggest problem in the Black community, which is poverty.
Mhm.
I know that some of us through good jobs and credit cards are able to hide the poverty, but the fact is that other communities are exploiting us in so many different areas. We chose this industry because we thought it was an easy way to show people this is how it can be done,
Right.
and how you can take this model and bring it to various industries all over America.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we've talked about it. So I get it and I understand. And I think that's credible, number one. But even more importantly, like you said, not trying to get a rich, quick scheme like people talk about all the time, but actually, this is one of the places that's needed in the community. You know what I'm saying? And also, I know one of your goals is, I won't even say, I'll let y'all talk about it. What type of products and what type of owners of these products are y'all trying to have in the store?
Really, promote the store. Those are the two things that we look for, which is rare and innovative, to put forth that much effort for their products and their services.
Cool.
So right now we have over 60 local vendors from Louisiana and Texas right now. So
yeah, we'll pick it up a little bit. Look, I'm scoot over and let y'all come a little closer, so that'll be good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And Lloyd, you said it. What I was looking for is when I first got here, because this is all Black love today. You know, you told me that y'all try to carry so many Black owned products is what I was getting at. You know, so I know you had spoke on that, and that's definitely something that's needed to be known. But I'll let you speak from that point of view and how you value the Black ownership of these products.
I mean, what we want to do is, we always talk about ownership. We always talk about owning our own and generational wealth, but we never really talk about the levels to really do that.
Right.
So right now we buy from a lot of vendors and a lot of people that's not us. So how do we start to define to take that stuff back? Is we have to offer those same products of alternative. So now that we say we got that normal stuff, if you want to buy that just because we want you to come to the store, so we want to have what you feel works for you. Right. But at the same time, we want to promote that Black brand. And so when we do this, now we start to identify the Black brands that do good. So and eventually, once we have those 100 Black-owned brands here on the shelves, we can identify the top 50, the top 75 to put more money in them and start our own distribution. Now people got to come buy from us because now we've created that need to have that want to be done. So, you know, it's just about us knowing who we are and where we are. And if we don't do that, we can't patronize.
Another bigger part of that too is you know, we as a people, we don't like to listen. We don't like to improve upon, just generally speaking, you know, but by having those Black owned products, and something you said is you'll know who are the top sellers, but that gives people opportunity to go back in the shop and get better. You know, if their product is not selling, try to figure out what is it about it that is not working. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And so I think that's important too. But so tell us about the Black store. When people come to the Black store and they walk in, what are they going to experience? What are they going to see? What are they going to feel?
So the first thing what we really want people to see, you know, when they come in, we want you to feel that need, that Black feeling when you come in. I think when we first opened the store if people first come through and we used to say welcome to the black store, I feel like everybody had a little giggle because it was a little funny, you know, it was something that they wasn't used to hearing before.
Right.
And I think we just gotta make sure that we keep giving that back to them and let them know that it's black excellence. I know we in the hood. I think when people come here and they see how we operate, the cleanliness, the operation of how we're doing things, they see that we try to step up stuff to a new level. And, you know, and with customer service, we want to make sure that we always at the utmost.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I mean, every time I've come here, I mean, I've come for different people doing their thing here, which we'll talk about that too. You know, how open y'all are to people coming into the store, exposing themselves, which is shows the unselfishness of not only you two as well, but just the culture of what you're trying to do. But every time I've come, you know, you taking the pictures, you know, you talk to the people, both of y'all do that. I got to witness that this morning again. But talk about how you would like to connect with the community and the things that you guys are doing in the community. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Okay. Listen, I got another cat. I got another cat that's coming that's going to help us fill in another slot. But I'm going to say salute to y'all because that agriculture thing is something that we miss as a people. You know, it goes back to that saying, you know, if I give somebody a fish, they can eat for a day. If I teach them to fish, they can eat for a lifetime. And it's the same thing with that gardening. So I've already got the approval. I just mentioned Miss Karen, who's the current president of the World Youth Foundation. And we're in 30 years. Well, they're in 30 years. I've been with them about 2.5 years. But they're 30 years of service. And when I tell you that's a group you want to get connected with, you definitely want to get connected with it. And community garden and owning the box gardens is something that we're into. So I want to tell y'all now that we're highly interested in getting involved with y'all. And community service is something that we do. So I'm letting you know that the World Youth Foundation, Dad Chronicles, the Reach podcast show, we're going to come out here and figure out. It might not necessarily be me. You know, if I have to bring my kids and come out here, my mom, we're going to be out here. But definitely the World Youth Foundation wants to get behind you guys. We have a lot of resources too. Or I should say they have a lot of resources. And so that's something that we're going to jump behind, and we'll talk more about that. And I've gotten the blessings from Miss Karen already. We just got to figure out what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? And I want to get her to come. Absolutely. And Miss Karen, man, look, that's going to be Auntie Karen for long, man. And what comes behind her, man, is just amazing, you know. So, you know, I've given the shout outs, and so Miss Karen, you hear it right here. We're gonna get involved with the community garden. So so tell us again, when do you do that? The Saturday mornings? What does that do? Okay. Absolutely. And that's something we've been going on for a little while. I'm not sure. Let me try to figure this thing out. People saying they can't hear. We apologize about that. But the projections is something that we'll keep. But it's saying the mic is good. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we'll just keep it moving. So again, when people come into the store, tell them what the Black store consists of. You know, all the areas of the store, what you got going on here.
I mean, when you walk through the doors, of course, you're gonna have the first is gonna have the beauty supply area of it. So we got all our products to the left and right walls. We got all our Black-owned products, even throughout the aisles. You will see nothing but Black-owned products. When you go to the back, of course, you're gonna see that we have the nail shop, and what we have opening in a little while, we're gonna have the barber shop as well. So, you know, men and women's restrooms, we have other stuff going. So, but we just want to deliver that full experience and just everything that we're doing, you know. And in the back, of course, we got the fire pit, stage, and other community garden that we're gonna be getting going here pretty soon. So it's already getting going. And like I say, every Saturday we're here putting in work.
And when I first met you, you know, we make a joke about this now, but You said y'all was about to do the whole back of the store and get the grass laid and all this stuff. I mean, and was it 2 days later?
Right.
Man, got a whole fire pit back there, the grass laid, the stage built, and you know, you actually spoke that into existence. Come to find out, you didn't even know how it was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that was another great connection you made with that gentleman. And I don't know if you want to speak on that a little bit of how that manifested.
Yeah, no, you know, I always make sure that we always try to make sure that we always talking to different business owners, different people in the neighborhoods. And so happened my neighbor is the one that introduced me to one of the construction guys, J. Paul, the Skilled Construction.
Shout out J. Paul.
Look at them. But they do a lot of commercial jobs and stuff like that. But you know, when I said that, I thought we was going to do a lot more stuff ourselves. But even I didn't know the I guess the amount of work that was going to take.
Right.
So, but luckily he came here. He said, you know, he looked at it. He said he liked what we was doing. You know, he wanted to help us out. He was like, come by the place. So, you know, I went by his place to go see all the material and the things that they had to offer. And shoot, he didn't even tell me he was here at 7 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
Already getting started. So before we even opened the store, he was already back there, tractors going, leveling off the land, and you know, telling me what needs to be done and what they gonna do. And so, you know, it
was done. Yeah, it was a done deal.
Y'all came by the next day.
Right. So what I like to do is on every show, I try to let the audience know about who I'm talking to. You know, so I already know about you. You know, reading this book, which is a snippet. But I like for you to just give your background, you know, just whatever you want to speak on as far as yourself, and then we'll let Randy speak on it. And ultimately, how did y'all come together? You know, so just so people understand how you even got to this point in your life.
To be honest, you know, I grew up in 3rd Ward, went to Yates, went around with Yates, grew up in 3rd Ward all my life. Got a football scholarship, went all the way up to school in North Dakota, believe it or not.
You like the cold?
Negative 55, I said they went for black folks.
He like that cold, man.
So, you know, I ended up coming back to prison. They didn't accept none of my prison. But I graduated. I don't even know if I put that in there.
You put that, I was like, dang.
When I ended up graduating with my degree in IT, you know, actually, I was selling cars and left that job that I thought was way higher paying because I thought my degree and stuff was what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I went into corporate for a number of years, realized that the same attitude that helped me get to greatness is that same attitude that was going to hold me back in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want that hard black mentality to be there. You know, they want you more submissive. And I was like, that ain't me. I don't kiss no behind. So, you know, once I realized that, you know, my attitude and that wasn't helping me serving my community, you know, I really quit. So I hadn't worked a job since 2017. You know, I know my wife was like, you didn't. And whenever she seen me home early, either I got quit or I got fired, either one. You know what I'm saying? So after I went through a lot of that, through that gap of time, you know, I had wrote the book. You know, I was coming into a new existence of myself, new realization. And, you know, and I just started trying to figure out things, what was going to do to help me serve my community even more. You know, to be honest, I started going through a lot of the stuff, community people, NAACPs and stuff. And to be honest, long story short, you know, everybody that you feel like you want to help the community, they don't want to help you. You know, even the NAACP here in Houston tried to sue me. That's a whole nother story. But, you know, it didn't work. I'm still a member, and we there to hold people accountable 100% of the time of the day. And that's what it's there about. If you're here to speak for the Black community, that's what we're here to do it for. And if you're not doing that, then you're going to have an issue with me.
There's accountability.
So everything that we just take that fight and everything that we do. And, you know, through that fight and me going to all these different events, I start to see Randy, you know, start seeing him at all this Black stuff. He invited me. It was always good vibes. And, you know, when I was searching for different ways and different businesses to help the Black community, he invited me to a meeting at his house with all the other Black beauty supply owners. So I'm like, dang, okay. Yeah. And so he really sparked it in my mind and say, hey, maybe that's something we got to do. So, you know, I started to put together a plan, what we need to do and what I felt needs to go into it. Of course, he one of the first people I went to. He was one of the only people that said, hey, let's put this together. And he was throwing in just as many ideas I was throwing in. So I'm like, cool, I think I found a partner. And I think once we realized that our best asset was what we want to do for the community, and we take that in everything that we want to do and what's best for the business, we never have no quarrels because it's not about us, and ego is the enemy. And once we realize we don't need 100% of nothing, as long as we going forward with the advancement and empowerment of Black people, we forward. So, you know, that's kind of how that manifested.
All right, Mr. Randy, what's your background leading up to meeting my man? Yeah. She won. Yeah, Katrina won. The power of a woman. Oh man. God was pushing you to your destiny, man. Yeah.
But there's a lot of corruption.
Right. Yeah.
So, of course, the same experiences that he had in corporate America, the same exact, problems that I was having in corporate America. It has no place for a Black man who's unwilling to. So over time, man, I'm always looking for my
Okay.
not even a unapologetic in what he's doing. So it says, for the non-profit to help the community. I figured if I get women on board, maybe not going too far behind the curve. So it said, man, we just keep on running to each other and events that are conducive to Black people progress. And as a result, separating the talkers from the doers.
Right.
And like I said, basically, I have an organization because never
Yeah. 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 That's right.
Normally,
Mm-hmm.
the Vietnamese control the nail salon. So just those two people together is something maybe that no one beauty supply has.
Yeah. Yeah.
To add the fellas
Yeah. And I like to say we leave ourselves out. That's really the bottom line, and that's the thing behind my Dad Chronicles thing that you see my family wearing. And I appreciate y'all for being here. We got a little audience this morning, but no, that's the important thing. You said something that I found to be true with me. I just became a one-man show, and we're not gonna get into my story too much. It's about y'all, but when I started it, I wasn't trying to necessarily organize and get this and that together. I just went to work. I'm like, let me jump out here. Let me talk to this kid. Let me go see this kid at school. Let me go to wherever we need to go. So that way, I can get something behind me and get it going. And so then the ladies start support. But the whole thing was my movement was about the Black man. You know what I'm saying? And they slowly start tiptoeing in. So it's huge for us to get involved, and even more so to get into things like this, because we don't ever know what type of blessing can come out of it, man. But that's the other thing that moved me, is to see two Black men doing some things that correlate with what I got going on. And I just salute y'all over and over and over again for what y'all doing, because it takes guts, it takes consistency, and I'd even say stamina, because it's a lot, I'm sure, that y'all have had to deal with and persevere through. So salute to y'all on that, man. He's saying, I don't know why they can't hear, man. Golly. But the other thing is too, what when you were going to the meetings, you already had, because he said you were with a bunch of beauty supply owners, is you already had that idea that this is what you wanted to do? How did the idea come about? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right.
hop into this industry and make a model that everybody can follow, then we can be more comfortable with it.
Gotcha. Now I'm tired of people saying they can't hear you. So we finna move around. We gonna look. We gonna have y'all slide on this way, and
Yeah.
So what I is, but we gonna keep it moving, and hopefully this becomes a little bit better. Let me get back in the shot too as well. But the other thing is that it leads to the title of what I'm calling it right now. I'm running a series called "I'm Fed Up, They Don't Understand," and with this, it's called Breaking the Cycle. And then everything that I talk about with my different guests is breaking the cycle of whatever that particular situation is. So I like to segue, and you've already said something. Is there something that y'all are just tired of seeing when it comes to business and Black ownership and those type of things? Let's jump into that. What's something that you're tired of seeing and that you feel like we need to break and make things better?
I mean, to be honest, it's really just how we do business. I know at certain times we don't always trust each other in business, but one thing I could say, before we got in this industry or before we got in this neighborhood, all these business owners, they all know each other.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing they never ever tried to do is work together. Everybody's comfortable with their little pocket. And I tell people, we comfortable, either you are exerting power or you getting power exerted on you. You know what I'm saying? And so we not seeking that power. We're comfortable with that little pocket of comfortable, and but that's not enough. And so I think once they hit their doorstep, then they're willing to act. But I think we're being a little bit more due diligent. We're taking it to people's doorstep. So if you a church and you near us, we're gonna come to ask you, what are you doing? How can we partner? Let's do something together. If you don't, this church next door will let you know what we do. So anything what we talk about, we just want to be about what we're saying. If that's not you, regardless whether we believe or don't believe in the same things, the same God or whatever, we feel like if you believe what you believe, I know the Bible, and you will be doing those things for your community if you lived it, if you did it, if you live by those words. Yeah. So we just want to make sure that we are taking due diligence to make sure that everybody's held accountable.
I gotta hold this book up, man, one more time. I hope y'all can see it. Written by my man right here, Mr. Lloyd, and it's called "Revealing the White Lie: Faith versus Fact." And just to speak briefly on that, and we could talk about it a lot more later. But there's so much I want to cover, and don't want to get off track too much. But like you say, the Bible. Talk about your father and how much influence he's had on you, because that's one of the main focuses for me with the Dad Chronicles movement, is to focus on those young men who not necessarily just a father, but didn't have an uncle, didn't have a best friend, didn't have some type of male mentorship in their life, and what that led you to do as far as this book and how your view has changed.
Well, my dad was very heavily, he didn't like to always go to church, but he always knew the Bible backwards and forwards, and he made sure any Bible verses, I feel like he's quoting, good son, make a father's heart glad, and all the things that he likes. So all these different scriptures, of course, he pounded into us, over my life. And of course, I was a daddy's boy. So anything that my dad, he didn't have to whoop me or do anything. All he had to do is say that he was disappointed. Right. That was as bad as any lash that you can give me. Absolutely. I'm disappointed. I'm like, oh, shoot, it hurt my heart. Take me down a notch. Yeah. But that's all that needed to be said. That's why I say to people all the time, my dad was that community dad. I can see people that didn't have that influence in how they turned out, even though they had my dad in their ear. But at the same time, you have people or parents that I feel like they're sometimes deliberate in thinking that they know what they're doing, or feel like that this way is the best way. And, my dad, he didn't never instill anything bad in me. It was more of the Bible and instilling a lot of that, which I felt like that served me at the time. But as my evolution came and as my knowledge grew, I realized it was a lot more about this that I didn't know. And I tell people, if we want to talk about, these words and what the Bible is, I say, let's take it back to where it came from. We can talk about the Septuagint. We can talk about the African mystery system and a lot of these spiritual things and where it came from and what they really mean. And I say, and if that religion is not serving you in everything that you're looking to do, then we have to throw it away. And we have to realize that just because we're believing in something that says, our mind have to be so open to the point of truth that if somebody came to me right now, regardless of what I wrote here, if they came to me with irreversible truth, irrefutable truth, I would have to take it and give it some consideration. Yeah. So I think when we talk about that, that's how open we have to be to life. And I think when we talk about the powerlessness of Black people right now, that would help us in those stands. Yeah. And we will be able to take a better, more critical eye to these churches and a lot of things that we do. Like gentrification is going on in 3rd Ward, but yet we have 30 Black churches. You can't go find too many white churches where the economics is not right around it. So we have to realize and take that same critical eye. Out here in like Sugar Land or Stafford, they have ruled that you can't open any more churches. But we will see that as Black people and see that as something as like, oh man, that's anti-God, that's anti-Jesus. But no, they realize that when you have all these nonprofit entities, it doesn't help you in the tax bracket when you need to have things done in your neighborhood. Because these are non-tax, and these churches are not doing anything out of their pockets deliberately. So without their economics being put back, your neighborhood cannot flow the way it needs to flow. So it goes beyond that, and we have to learn to take that same critical eye with everything that we do and hold people accountable, regardless of that being your pastor, your churches. And if some of these churches just took a little bit of their money and said, we're going to help our members, not nobody outside the church, our members start businesses, not only would that help that church, but we have to realize that our powerlessness of what we have, and our churches can't operate in that fashion because we're powerless in the politics, in the local election, and we can't hold anybody accountable.
And that was what was big, because you got to read the book to even understand what he's talking about. I like how you broke it all down and you gave facts. That's the thing, the unrefuted facts. And you made me be like, hold up, and it
give you enough it make you want to go research.
It make you want to go and read, because the other thing is, if you want to hide something from Black people, where do you hide it at? In the book, and so when I opened the book and started reading, I was more curious of like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because I was raised in the church. My story, how you described it, is the same thing for me. And I didn't even realize a lot of the times how I wasn't that connected to what was being said. There's questions that I had, but the way you broke it down, and then the information that you gave that can't be refuted, and how you explain how the Bible has been rewritten and how they used it in certain ways, it makes you want to go and get the facts. Number one, if nothing else, let's see if what he wrote is true. Let's see if that part is true.
Give it a quick Google. And I think I say in the book, go Google this, and I give you the phrase to Google.
Yeah.
And one of the things I tell people is when you you don't believe now, you didn't believe in the first place.
Right.
And I tell people, now go look up until them years before I really started coming into that, I was still going to church. Yeah. I was still saying that, our family was highly favored. Yeah. And I remember me and a colleague had a whole conversation. And he was like, oh, I don't believe in that. And I was over here trying to convince him, like, Jesus is, and we have that conversation now. We both just bust out laughing. Yeah. It's not because it's not that belief, but I just believe you are the God that you see. And I manifest a lot of stuff that I feel through me and what I feel.
Right.
So if I tell people, when you praying, you pray to yourself. Because like they say, faith is without works is dead. Mm-hmm. So you can pray all you want.
Yeah.
But if you're not going out there setting the steps and doing the things that you need to do, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And for our believers, and even for my mom and for everybody that's here, you're not saying that Jesus ain't real. You're not saying none of that, but it's the point that I stopped on was when you was talking about what you just said, as far as not necessarily, because I can't agree with that yet. Not praying to myself, but believing in yourself, and the power comes from within. You know what I'm saying? And it just allows you to develop a deeper meaning and understanding. How all this stuff took place. But I give you hands to I give you a clap on the book, man. That's for sure.
My mom and my wife trying to convince me not to write it.
Yeah, but no, it's deep. It really is deep. It's deep, man. I mean, and you have to. It's the truth that you say. You have to be open in the mind to even want to experience that. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't want to know the truth. They just want to go with what's going on.
Let me tell you this. The first thing, and it took my mind to a whole different level. And somebody told me this, and they asked me when I first came out with it. They said, if you don't want us to believe in Jesus, who you want us to believe in then? And it had to make me think, just because how I feel and how I think is so hardly in myself, and I can say, hey, I'm gonna come and move. That is not everybody's personality. Mm-hmm. And sometimes everybody don't have that same hardliness of experiences like my dad gave me to be able to take on a new experience and run with it.
Right.
And everybody's not ready, and I hardly agree. But I tell people this: the people that do believe it, so many people, and I respect it so much more when you live in it, you be in it, and you live it every day. And that's the people that I can rock with, regardless of what you believe in.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's the other thing, and respecting that is the other side of it. But again, I'm not saying to change your beliefs, but what I am saying is the book is full of facts to the point that I have to go Google and confirm that. But the information that you gave, it makes you think like, why wouldn't it be true? I don't think you gave them timelines and all this stuff just out of your mind, you know. So that's another thing about it. But Randy, look like you want to say something. Go ahead, brother.
Man, I'm like,
Yeah.
The Christian community always to not be afraid from what you believe. I always say that nobody about anything without because if we are, like, you gotta really get
because it makes you upset to change. Change is uncomfortable. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So from everything that y'all have going on, as far as, I don't know if you call them projects or initiatives, what are some things that you see the Black Store doing, the community doing? Let's just go down. Let's start with the garden in the back. Let's start with the backyard of the store, and we're gonna go check that out here in a little bit. But let's just start from there because I don't know everything that you guys are trying to do. But let's start there. What do y'all have going?
I would say for the garden, that is part of our Black Gold Nation Agriculture Department committee. And what they're doing is we, of course, we have other people in partnerships where we're getting bigger stuff to grow more food and stuff. But that back there is going to be more of a representation of inviting the community out, have different stuff to let them know what we're doing, how we're doing it. This is how you can do it in your backyard or your business. And those are some of the committees that we kind of have set in place. Of course, we do things with our credit cards since we own those businesses, and we redirect those fees back towards the community. We'll build websites for Shea Community Center, Sunnyside Civic Club, Acres Home Super Neighborhood, and our biggest thing is making sure that we're always giving back in an effective manner to bring people to that next level. And of course, that meeting is always every second Monday from 7 to 8. You know, we have that community meeting. We've been having that for the past 3 years. And that is just a recruiting meeting of the week, getting people in, showing them what we do, how we do it, and kind of pretty much seeing what their interests are and how we can get you involved, whether that be education, criminal justice, politics, economics, and so
what do you call that meeting again?
That is the Creative Group Economics. That's our community meeting.
Okay. Okay. And so every second Monday from 7 to 8 p.m., they can just come to the Black Store and get involved.
Yes, sir.
There you have it. Every second Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. You know, all talk, just show up, you know, time for action. Randy, you have anything you want to add to what y'all got going on?
Nah, you know, how can they
Mhm. Right.
this is already, you know, studied.
Mhm. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But especially in this one, I can see how the expectation is on the level that the only something
Mm.
for you to take my own culture and you have
definitely, when you think about it like that, that is definitely disrespectful, you know. And so you've already answered, well, what do we do about that? You've already talked about it, starting with the meetings, and mentorship is what y'all doing, man. You know, and that's a big deal. So people need to recognize that and understand that, and just get involved. You know, it's for me, it's always, let's not talk too much about it. Let's just get started. Let's just get the action going, and then, you know, coming to some guys like you, you'll pave the way. Y'all can learn along the way, because everybody has a different way of approaching things. And so, you know, there's answers all the way around us, you know, and especially in our community. I think that's amazing what you guys are doing, you know. So what, kind of know the answer, but again, this is for the people who's never heard of the Black Store, and, you know, who don't know what y'all are doing. Why do you think it was so important to include the nail shop and to include the barber shop in the store? What was important about that move for you guys? Let's keep it simple. Let's get to the money. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Yeah, that's big. You want to add to
I
that?
was gonna say, and you know, we're just not stopping at beauty supply stores. You know, it's a lot of food, a lot of food areas that we lack in. So we putting those stores right next to Indian stores. You know, we're not trying to split up the traffic, just like we put this one right across the store, right across the street from the Asian one. Our biggest thing is giving back, and we're not charging people to come be a part of the process and learning the game. Like, we literally giving it away. You know, we don't even want to charge people fees to be in the franchise. We want to make sure that you got the stuff that you need to succeed. You know, so it goes a little bit further in our plan of what we want to do. But you know, we can't. I tell people like this: we have so much crime in our communities because of lack of opportunity. So guess what? In order to quarter crime, what should you get more of? Opportunity. You know, it's easy. You know, but we don't own the levels of our economics. You know, so it goes, we have to be in politics at the same time. We have to be in education. We have to be a part of everything. Nothing in our world is one dimensional. Everything is multidimensional. So we got to be working at different things at all times of our existence, and let people know we have to be getting other people involved, letting people know what the issues are, and making sure that we hold each people accountable as well as ourselves. And we tell people, if you're a leader and they're not looking or want to accept accountability, then that's a person you need to get from around. Because we are the same thing. If you see Randy or Lloyd doing something that we don't need to, hey, call us out, and we're gonna be like, hey, we need to check our behavior, because we need to make sure that we always operating at the utmost areas and ways for the Black community. And that's not just for us, that's for everybody. You know, so as long as we operating with that, we good. Tell people your skin is your ticket in.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so I'm glad you said that, because next, you know, to me is a tough question, you know, for any of the other cultures that are watching and ethnicity groups that are watching this show. So it's the Black Store beauty shop experience, you know. So if I'm a white guy, I pull up and I come in, what I'm gonna get? You're gonna get it doesn't matter what, man, look, it was a time when I was thinking about love Black women. I'm going to a Pakistani and at the same time telling him, look, I'm doing this with you now because I need it right now, immediately. I'm looking to replace you with somebody who looks like me. He asked me, what's this love Black women and respect Black men? It's about economically providing for my people. So y'all not playing the same laughing at us. Yeah. And they know it. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, but it's funny you say that, because I got white, Hispanic friends they used to give to my group, knowing that they can't even come to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about you. If you was doing something for your culture, I'd be like, come on, brother, like, do your thing. Yeah. But we the only people as Black people, feel like we have to invite people into our inner circle to do things. And you ain't no white person, no Hispanic person, nobody is inviting y'all into their inner circle for doing the things that they need to do for their community. They're just not happening. It's nothing against you. Yeah. They like you. Yeah. And we just need to be able to perceive it the same way.
I don't need you to say it. I don't have to come here and do that.
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna just say this, Randy. I'm sorry. Everybody has said only you. Mic is not picking up, so I'm gonna get a better camera, better mic next time around. We're gonna come back and do this again. But I mean, I don't know how we can fix it, but you know, we just gonna keep moving forward, and then maybe I can go back and fix the sound or something. But I think everybody can hear good enough, yeah. And I was trying to give people the angle of the store, so we'll just move it like this, and hopefully the closer the better. Cool. Yeah. So you know, again, with this I'm tired, I'm fed up. I mean, y'all spoke on that already without us saying these are the things we're tired of. But you know, all of that is excellent. And then the point of you made about this is about Black people. You know, sometimes we get scared to say that, but that's something I feel like we got to stand on more too. If you're intentional about what you're doing, don't let that be hushed, you know, and put to bed.
Let me tell you why. And I put out a survey and I asked people, would you feel funny greeting another Black person, Black power? And most people said they would. For one, you don't think you got no power. So who you dare greeting somebody Black when you hope that nobody overhear you? You know what I'm saying? That ain't of the other race.
Yeah.
Because we don't feel like we have that power, and until you got that power, you want, trust me, it'd be a lot more white people out here saying white power if they thought they could still sell you your stuff and it wouldn't be vilified.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get that power with ourselves. But I tell people, when you feel that powerlessness for saying Black power, then you need to go do something about it. You need to go find somewhere local, or organization, grassroots, and you need to go start doing something about it. Or if it don't there, create one.
What I did, I mean, when I started my movement, you know, and it's making me think of certain things, but still get away from the point at hand. Because when I started, it was strictly about Black young men not having their fathers in their lives, not having that male mentorship. And then the women started coming. You know, they're like, well, why are you not including the women? Well, Dad Chronicles covers everybody now, you know, and I open it up to young, the Black and brown, you know, and the white. And if, you know, any young man that is missing that part of what they need in their life, you're welcome. But this was started for Black people. You know, I always make sure that's known and make sure that's understood, because we're the ones that really affects, you know, when you stop and think about it. So, you know, I just feel good that I'm doing the right thing. Like y'all say, you know, don't get away from that Black power and that Black movement, because if we don't continue to encourage each other, if we don't continue to support each other, then everything we do will die away, you know. And that's something. I'm new to the whole nonprofit world, you know, and you know, I'm looking to come to those meetings and stuff and learn what I can, and then give y'all the suggestions and connections and resources. And that's what it's about, man. People try to do y'all experience that? People try to hold on to what they got, you know. You know, and I mean, they could probably give you something that'll turn into a $1 million store, you know, overnight, but they try to hold on it. I don't know if y'all can speak on that. I'm tired of that. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell people, I'm getting more books in pretty here soon at the store. But I'm gonna say
that's
this.
My mom. You can get the book right here in the store. Go get the book right here at the Black Store, 8616 Cullen Street. This is where you can find that book, and he'll tell you wherever else.
But it's funny when you say, do you feel like people holding us back? The first thing that I did was go to our institutions in the ACP to see who was doing something about the powerlessness that I was feeling. And, you know, I was part of the committee. I built the website for NAACP Houston and Texas. And, you know, after I brought them so many ideas and they wasn't taking it, one of the people said, hey, why don't y'all run for leadership? So I said, cool. I bring all my people. Literally, we put in the paperwork to run on that Thursday. A dude met me outside my house and told me, you've been served on that Friday. So anybody that's looking to see, that could have been my stance to say, dang, I'm trying to do something for Black people, and look, I'm getting sued by the Black people. But, you know, I had to realize that that's another cognitive dissonance that's dealing with those people over there. But at the same time, we still need to be a part to hold people accountable. So I don't let their attitudes or mentalities sway what the bigger goal is for Black people, and that's to hold people accountable, and that's to do the things for our neighborhood. So I can put that aside and let them know, look, I'm still gonna be a part of y'all, not to help or aid in any of these so-called programs they're doing, but to mainly hold people accountable in what they're not doing.
This is what it is, man. You know, and we got to get away from that. Is there any subjects as far as things you're tired of seeing, or things you just would like to change? Is there anything else that's on the top of the brain that you want to talk about? Because I'm gonna move
and now we can continue on that point. This is a process, a project takeover, man. Like we want all of our black organizations like we want organizations like the infiltrated in a way where we are holding them accountable with the numbers to where they can't just shoot you away. Right? If you got people constantly talking about it, these are where the resources of these organizations are going, and it's not helping the black community progress, and these things need to be corrected immediately. And these are the organizations that companies are looking to give money to. Whenever there's something going on, some type of controversy, the power structure just throws money in organizations that they know are not going to do anything for the community. And we just look at it as a good thing, or they're trying, but they're not really trying.
It's intentional.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's easy to read through if you're just paying attention.
Right.
But a lot of times we're around people that conversation is involved with entertainment news.
Yeah.
To the point where we're not talking about the things that are defining our lives every day. Yeah. Where you stay, what school your child goes to, all of these decisions that you think you're making are being made by somebody else. You're not paying attention. You're not getting involved in the organization where money is coming. And you're not holding your elected officials accountable as well either. You're the employer, they're the employee. We look at it like they so high.
We serving them. Yeah. Yeah.
Like no, they're just public but you're not mastering.
Right. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you know, we give these organizations and people these little wins because a lot of people give them those wins because they feel like inside you can't fully indict them because somebody can easily say, what are you doing?
Right.
And I think when that can be said on you, then you need to get out there and you need to start doing something. So don't get mad about it. You know, don't feel sour about it, but we need to let that be the drive to make us get out there and start doing it.
I call that, don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. You know, come up with some answers and stuff like that. But I mean, man, y'all hitting it on all cylinders, and it just goes back to, you know, when you come to the black store, that's what you're gonna get, black empowerment, and that's what it's all about. Is there any, I was telling you about earlier, I know we didn't get a chance to do it, but are there any featured products you want to throw out there, or somebody you want to recognize for? I already did my girl Kevia Jones, the executive suite, and being here on the shelves. Anybody you want to shout out or anything like that? You know, this is commercial. This is commercial time. Yeah. Come find out yourself. Absolutely. Yeah. My man. But for me, man, it's to be able to come here and, you know, y'all said from day one, I welcome the show, so we finally here. You know, that's a big deal for me, more than y'all know. And you know, the other thing, if you don't mind, if you share your ages, that's the other thing. If you don't mind doing that, if you can do that, if not, just tell the people now.
Old man first.
Okay.
That's what they say.
Already.
Nah, I'm 32.
32. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Y'all doing big things. And man, the reason I do this, you know, to me personally, if it's not sports, we don't really look at what people are doing at a certain age and at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, these athletes, they live a major life, you know, and they do, don't get me wrong, you know, and of course, by 33, 32, they're retiring, you know, because they've been playing since 18, 19. But to be doing what you're doing now, to be in business like you're in business now and understanding the things the way you're understanding it, I'd have loved to have been in that position at 32. I'm 43 years old now, you know, so, you know, it's different for me. And of course, everybody's lifestyle and everybody's life journey is different. But I just like to make that a known fact for people to understand, you know, don't keep sleeping on your dreams. Don't, because I mean, tomorrow's not promised, but you can get it done early.
You know what's about that though? And now it's our job to make sure that the people that's 19, 20, that they get it a decade before we had.
Absolutely.
And so I got a 16-year-old nephew that I come out. I want to be in the store, and he already talked to his people. Yeah. So he already know. Like I'm teaching him this. I'm making him bring his laptop. Now I'm teaching you everything. I don't wait for school.
Yeah.
So I told him by the time you 21, you can decide to go to college if you want to or not. Yeah. But you're gonna be here. You're gonna be making money. You're gonna know how to run a business. And so when you make that determination, it's gonna be on you.
Yeah. That's why I made him come this morning. You know, he's virtual, so he got his laptop here, knocking out class right here, and he's gonna soak up what he's hearing. You know, might not be like us back in church, might not be fully tapped in, but we're gonna get what we need. But it's important, you know, and that's one of the things that we just, you know, drop those nuggets here and there. And then as we know they can get it, you know, you just pour it on them, and then they're gonna retrieve a lot of things just from memory. Just on that note, man, I was going to make a point and slip my mind, but is there any type of last words? I want to get to walking around the stores. I'm going to switch for everybody that's tuned in. I'm going to switch to another live so that way I can walk around the store and let you guys see the store, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But is there any last comments? And I know we ain't covered everything. Oh, I want to say also, is it still cool to say the chess club is coming to the Black store? My chess club. Okay. So we're gonna be bringing that back, and now that COVID has taken another turn for the worse, we'll just have to make sure we do that in due time. It's supposed to kick off on July 3rd over at my man that y'all met, Lewis, over at the boxing gym. That's where we're supposed to start off at. So just whatever y'all parameters are here in the store, we'll get together and we'll talk about that. But look forward to that chess club coming here and getting the kids involved with that and people in the community. But again, is there anything y'all like to share as far as last words or, any things y'all want the people to know?
We have been hearing the main thing I want to bring up is our GoFundMe page. We have a lot of things in the community.
Okay.
Making sure that a fair shot at presenting their retail have access to the same products. So I want to say all
Yeah.
if y'all want more information, you can always direct message us, and we'll give you that step-by-step plan.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And no faking and shaking, as people would say. If you come, be serious about it. You have the Facebook and the IG scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can find them. Because and I'd like to talk about that if we can briefly. Something else you mentioned, and I know you probably feel the same way. The effect that we or the impact that the internet has in the spread of information, which was something you was talking about in the book. How big that is, and how would you like to word that people to use it, and do what they need to do with it?
I mean, I would say this, it's a lot of ways that we have been misled, mistaught, misguided. And we just have to start to use the things while we have them at our disposal to look up some of these things, because don't we take for granted that they're not always going to be there. And so I tell people, use this as a tool to get involved in the stuff that we feel like that we need to now, because we have to learn to look up all this and check or verify everything. Like one of my dad's favorite thing, I think Reagan said trust but verify.
Yeah.
Like I can trust you all day, but at the same time, I'm still gonna verify the information. So do that with anybody. We have to take that due diligence. And I tell people all the time, even teachers, like, hey, you will go and or relearn a lesson before you go teach it to your class.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you take that same due diligence with your own kids or your own family before you teach them other things that you really haven't researched your own self? So it's just taking a due diligence, another effort, another second thought in our life, and using the internet and the tools that we have to go do it. And you'll realize that some of these books are $1,500 to get this information. So, and you'll realize the reason why is because they don't want you to have it.
My man Randy, anything you want to share and final?
Nah, man, we can talk some more.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So for anybody that's tuned in, I'm about to start another live on this same page, and we're gonna take a tour of the store. So you guys stay with us. We're getting locked in, and right now we're live on the other one. So shout out to my man Randy. Shout out to Lloyd. Appreciate you guys for allowing us to be here. Let me just check the comment. I don't know if it's something. Says Mom, we appreciate you. But man, salute to everything that y'all doing. Let's get going on this store tour. So you guys switch over to the new live.